Alright, let's go and place a weapon back in the scene. We'll start off with a default again. And for this one, what we're going to do is take a look at the basically locking states and offset states for where the weapon can go, and then for whether the weapon can shoot. There's a lot of different ways that it gets checked before, like when the user pushes the trigger to when it actually says it's okay to shoot the weapon. There's a lot of different things that can be checked to find out whether or not it can or can't. One of the options to start with here is what is the if it's picked up by a player, it has an option to say whether or not it can shoot in these states. So for instance, you may have a weapon that you don't want the user to use in water, so you could actually say shoot on volume is turned off. You could say that you could actually say that the player can't shoot while they're moving on the ground, but they could shoot when they're jumping. So if we set it up something like this, and again, these kind of things are ones where you want to make sure you have a dialog bubble or text or something to explain it so the user understands that when they jump into the water, the weapon doesn't work underwater. They have to actually be above water for it to actually be usable. But then, again, you're just making more elements for your game to be unique and to provide that extra layer of gameplay for them. So if I have that one, let's go ahead and add some water into the scene here too. Let's just place a water object in. My gizmo option's turned on, so I'll use it here. Alright, so at this point, if we were to push play and then we go into it, what we should see is that when you're pushing the shoot button, now this is primary only, your secondary works regular, so you could be in the water and shoot your secondary, but you wouldn't be able to shoot your primary unless both were checked or unchecked. So at this stage, when I'm moving, I'm pushing, trying to shoot, I can't shoot anything. If I'm jumping, I can shoot. So it has it set up so that you can do different states with it. Now I can also, if I jump into the water, I can't shoot either. So this weapon, again, it'd be fun is that you're saying, hey, you can only use this weapon in flight mode. It's the only time you can use it. Alright, so then the other, and the overall system for these is pretty close. You might find that some things a little bit off in terms of bugginess, but once we get time for it, we'll just continue working through it. The other part for those, let me just point out one more thing to it. If you have something set for it, again, that secondary, if you want secondary to be not usable on volume as well, so like the whole weapon isn't usable, then just be sure that you're turning on and off both sets so that they're working together on it. There'll eventually be more options to line up with all the options that the player currently can do in states. And just to make sure you see that I just want to make sure you can see the other part here. So when I am in the air shooting, I can't shoot on the ground. When I'm in the water and can't shoot primary, but if I'm in with secondary, I can shoot my secondary. So just so you kind of get the idea is that this is definitely just a it's based on player state and then based on primary and secondary.